This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
It's that time of year where we're heading back to work, so today we thought it would be useful to think about some ways we can support ourselves and our children through this transition back to work.
Thanks for joining us for Being Real Parents with me, Anna, and my colleague and buddy,
Kate. We work in the parenting space.
And it's here where we'll talk about our worlds as parents, the good, the not so good, and the hilarious, and mix this with what we know about behaviour and psychology. Do you know what? Guilty secret. I kind of like the going back to work thing.
Why is that, Anna?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I just always get really excited by a fresh new year, a fresh new diary.
Oh, a fresh new diary.
Clean page, resetting.
Yeah.
A bit of reflecting on what's worked or hasn't worked last year. And I don't know, I'm just, I'm always a bit of an optimist anyway. And I do just... I like, and getting back into a routine, I think, as well.
Yeah. It can feel like almost like a fresh start, hey?
Yeah.
Like the slate is clean, we're good to go.
Yeah.
The diary is clean. I guess that's where that comes from, hey?
Yeah.
There's not like that coffee mark
No.
on the last one until you've done that again, and that's really annoying.
Yeah. Or the children's drawings through August.
Yeah. Something happens to it, and yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, and I have to say too that I love my work, and so it I find it immensely fulfilling, and so I think there is a part of me that misses it, and I'm kind of passionate about mums, particularly feeling able to work and parent and have a personal life beyond that, and be able to feel like they do all of those things well. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? So optimistic.
I know. Yeah. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I don't like that we feel as mums that we can't do all of those things and feel okay in it.
Yeah.
And it's different for every mum.
It so is.
Yeah.
And that word balance.
Yes.
Balance looks different for everyone, hey?
Yeah, I'm particularly, dismissive, annoyed with the term work-life balance, because work is part of life. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't it be cool if, our work, those things, aren't they? What are they? They're parenting, work, personal kind of world, all feel, all life. That's life. Yeah.
And they are intertwined, aren't they? They don't come in separate little parcels.
Yeah, quite.
So they are going to mingle together.
Yes, and making allowances for that too.
Yeah.
I've never had a job where I can't have those worlds collide. No.
I think if you can have them colliding in a way that feels okay for you, I think that's what it all comes back to, isn't it? It's what feels okay for you.
Which is why I'm always saying to you, just bring your child to work, Kate.
I know.
It's just like, are you kidding me?
Never have I worked somewhere where they collide so much. But it's, I think sometimes also it's getting used to that, hey, like, well, actually, this is okay, and I can make these things work together.
Yeah.
And do that in a really nice way.
Yeah, because I think that our job is about lessening guilt.
Yeah.
And shame. And I laugh as I say that because I don't know, it's just one of the things that comes up a lot, isn't it, is that we have parents in front of us who feel guilty or ashamed of the way that they're parenting. And I think for mums, the working thing is another trigger of guilt.
Yeah.
And so I think this is us. This is us making that okay.
You're listening to Being Real Parents with Kate and Anna on Plains FM 96.9.
Okay, so when we look at what supports us in these realms of our life.
Yeah, it's deep, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so what supports us? Well, you sound very optimistic about this and that you actually almost enjoy this.
Don't you put this all on me.
I want to know why you enjoy it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I like to fit a lot in, as you know.
Yeah. No.
And so, and that excites me. I like having, different things on the go. I like being creative.
Yeah.
I like being around people.
You're like, I'm done with my holiday. I'm back to...
Yeah.
I'm back to all of the things.
All of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, so I think the things that really support me in it are tools of communication.
Nice.
Across the whānau.
Yeah. So everyone knows where they're at.
Yeah. So that, I mean, this is different for everybody. It might be the thing on the fridge that you write on with a whiteboard marker.
Yeah. A fresh one of them at the start of the new year.
That'd get me excited. For anyone that doesn't know us, we are stationery buffs. We just love stationery. You will find us in a bookstore sniffing the inside of a new journal. Yeah, so, or it might be that you do calendar sharing on your phones.
Yep.
It might be that you have places that you leave each other notes.
Yeah, so there's some organisation that's going to go in around that, hey? Being a bit organised about, like, where people are, what's happening, and communicating that with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an odd thing. I didn't think about this, but I have a whiteboard, like just an A4 whiteboard in the places that my kids will hang out. So if I've got to remember to tell them something in the morning and I haven't thought about telling them and they're asleep now, I'll put it on their whiteboard.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah. And it's also a really nice opportunity to leave a sweet note.
Like, write cute little things
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Where does that whiteboard live?
Well, bedrooms, and then also on the fridge. There's another one.
Yeah.
And that just captures anything that's missing out of the fridge or just things I need to remember as I'm cooking tea or, doing the lunches or whatever. Yeah.
I need one of those.
Yeah, well, it turns out you need one for every room. No.
And my car.
That's a good one. No. In my car, I use my voice memo.
Oh, yeah, that's good. But also, when you're about to go to sleep and you think of all those things.
Yes.
You need one by your bed.
You do need one by your bed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that is, so just tools for communication so that we're all, we know what's going on.
Yeah. Nice.
And not so many surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And then I'm always a fan of a good routine chart.
Yeah. Good old routine chart.
And alongside that, chores.
Yeah.
That are in line with, developmental stage of the kids, just so that, because I can't do it all.
Yeah, no. So a big part of that is communication, hey? Everyone knows where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm heading back into it, I feel like This is the difference between you and me.
I'm excited and optimistic, and you are...
I want to, like, ease back into it.
Yes, that's true. I see what you mean, yes.
You're like, I'm ready, let's go. Where
I've got my pom-poms out and rah-rahing, and you're just like, oh my, stop.
And so I like to have, like, some things to, like, look forward to, maybe, like, after work, like, maybe you have dinner outside as a picnic or some fun, like, so it still kind of feels like you're on holiday a little bit.
Yeah, you're not missing out.
Yeah. So you're doing some things that, because it's still, you know, so warm, and so it feels like, okay, well, yes, I'm back at work, but also I've kind of got the best of both worlds at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I like to ride that wave for as long as possible.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, I do the same.
Yeah.
Take Kai down to the swimming pool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Do some of those things that you would do on holiday, but you're not anymore. But you can still fit them in somewhere.
Yeah. Still enjoying the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't feel like, oh, we're just back to the daily grind.
Yeah. And I've got to get home and make tea and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah. And back into those kind of what feels like strict kind of routines.
Yeah.
Have some flexibility with that to start with.
Yeah. That is a very good point. And the interesting thing is that generally we go back to work before our kids go back to school.
Yeah, yeah.
So we kind of need to ride both worlds, don't we, for a while?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what gets me excited.
That's not easing back into it. That's just kind of, you know, not missing out on...
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, oh, I just kind of like to spend my first few days pattering around.
Well, I wasn't going to admit that to you, was I?
Why not? I don't care. You know, changing where the whiteboard dust goes.
Maybe finishing at 1.
Yeah. La, la, la.
Yeah, I mean, there's space for that too. I always remember
Absolutely.
people saying that they would come back on a Wednesday for the year instead of a Monday, so that, like, it's a shorter week to start with and it's Wednesday already. And I was like, every year I was like, that's genius.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really
Come
good idea.
back halfway through so it feels a little bit easier.
Bit wasteful of the Monday and Tuesday in the new diary, but okay.
Maybe you could fill it with fun things that you were doing on those days.
Yes, that's true. Or just, you know, a few things to get you prepared.
Yeah.
On the Monday. Yeah, I do like that. The short week start. That's a good idea.
Start, I think, is helpful. Or maybe it's that you do start doing shorter days to start with, if that's what you can do with your boss.
Yeah. You and I have had this conversation before, actually, about if our work doesn't allow the rest of our life to, you know, to be magic, then we should be thinking really hard about how we can be a bit more creative around that and have some conversations with our managers. Yeah.
Yeah, around how that could better fit, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, I'm an employer and people are immensely important to me, like, you know, and so I would always want to know what I could do to support them rather than see them leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes as an employee, you're not always thinking like that. Hey, you're like, oh, this isn't working for me. It's just easier to go, instead of actually just having that conversation.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
People aren't mind readers and they don't know what's going on for you and what's actually, like, the bits that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
And so sometimes actually just being brave and having that conversation could end in a really good outcome.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. And, you know, recently, you know, I was involved in a process of employing somebody and they took the job and then said, but actually, since applying for this, I have thought about how I can fit this in and that I could do it but only part-time. And so the idea was that they went away and found somebody that they felt that they could job share with, because that's the most important relationship, those two people.
Yeah.
In order, in order that we could make it work for everybody.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And maybe that wasn't even an option until that person said that,
Quite, yeah.
So unless you're willing to kind of test the waters and see if something's an option,
yeah,
you're not going to know, hey?
That's true, actually, isn't it? Because what would have happened as a part of that is that I would have just gone, that person would have said, oh, no, I'm not going to take the job. And I would have gone, oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
No one knows.
And that's left unsaid, and so you don't have any, opportunity to come up with a more creative solution.
Yeah. So true, eh? Thinking about being creative and what would maybe fit better.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Then, in terms of, making my life sing, oh my goodness, can I share the most amazing magic that happened in my past week?
Yes, please do.
So, AI and ChatGPT. And so recently I was like, okay, cool, I need this thing to really work for me. And so what I did was I put in the instructions, give me 5 meals that will take me less than 30 minutes to make, all New Zealand ingredients, or ingredients available in New Zealand or something like that. Boom. It chucked them out at me. Simple. I was like, job done. Great. And then I went, okay, cool, that's great, but I just need the recipe around that one and that one. Asked them for the recipe, gave it to me. Then I thought, I'm going to test this thing to the absolute limit. Let's see how good this is. Let's see whether or not this is going to take over the world. Turns out it is, because I then said, I now, can you please now provide me with a grocery list?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For these 5 meals. Boom.
So all those fails in your life, you just need to get on there.
ChatGPT it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think next time what I would do, and then what I could do is I had to do that annoying thing of going, oh yeah, I've got that, I've got onions, I've got I've got, tomatoes, whatever.
Yeah.
And then chuck it into Countdown Online.
Oh, it just gets better.
And if anyone's listening to this that is responsible for creating your AI, the next step would be that somehow communicates with Countdown. Now, the next step would be that it somehow enters my pantry and goes, Hannah, you're out of chocolate chips or whatever. The children have eaten them again. And then it grabs the groceries and brings them back in and cooks them.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
That's a great idea, though, for inspo and ways to, save you time.
I was amazed.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't all, one of them was pesto with pasta one night, but I mean, who doesn't love pesto and pasta when you've got a busy night ahead? And it really does save on, going, oh, I can't cope, I'm just going to go and get something. Yeah.
Great tip.
I know. I can't help myself. I'm like, how can I organise my life better? And then the other thing, I'm going to do the same, actually, around lunches, maybe school lunches.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, quick, easy things that, we can, school lunches. And then also maybe lunches, but, because I'm always a big fan of, cook once, eat twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great ways to stay organised, hey?
Yeah, more pasta and pesto.
Yeah, pasta and pesto is a dream combo, though, let's be honest. My daughter doesn't like it, damn it. But I do.
21 times, I say to my kids, it's because you've only tried it 7 times. You've got to try it 21 times before you like it.
Yeah.
And all my kids come to me at some point or other and have said, I must have tried it for 21 times now.
Because I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I might need to start that on my
Tomatoes have been the ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, across them all. Anyway, how do we get onto that? Yes, and then in terms of that too, find the good things, like the good lunch containers and the good drink bottle and the good keep cup, because,
saves so much time, doesn't it, when you have something that's just like works every time?
Yeah.
And isn't like letting you down with spills. And...
through the car, through my bag. So many wrecked diaries as a result.
No one wants that.
Of bad
Yeah.
things that don't keep the liquid inside of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So having those things for ourselves and our kids, hey? Yeah. No, I completely agree. Having those things organised does make a really big difference in our lives. Like just having the things.
Yeah, available.
Yeah.
In places we can reach them and find them.
Yeah. And I guess some of that comes down to organisation in certain parts of the home too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Even if it's just the one cupboard that you manage to,
Yeah. But I think all these things come back to what works for you. So like we've talked about balance working, what balance is right for you, but also like what organisation things work for you.
Yeah.
Some people talk about Sunday being meal prep day, and I'm always like, I love the idea of that. Like, yes, cool. And then it comes to Sunday and I'm like, nah, not cool.
I've done that so many times. I've even bought the ingredients and I'm just like, nah, it's not happening.
Yeah, and so sometimes, and then what I do with so many things that I grab from other people and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. That shame and guilt comes in even more because you're like, oh, well, now I've let myself down on that, haven't I?
Set myself up to fail.
Yeah. You didn't get that done.
Yeah.
So instead being like, reflect on what actually works for you.
Yeah.
And make that happen.
Agreed. I'm going to give you two more little things that I just do in my day to keep me kind of... I don't know. I think that these are the things, well, many things, but these two are like biggest bang for wellbeing back in terms of having me feel good. Mm-hmm. And one is at the end of each day, most days, not all days, writing down at the top of my diary 3 things I'm grateful for from the day. Mm-hmm. So that's how I kind of end my day, last look at my diary, making sure that some things being ticked off, not always everything's been ticked off, and just ending the day in that kind of really sweet, positive way and thinking about the things that have contributed to the good about it. Mm-hmm. That's been really meaningful for me this year. And then the other one that I do often is looking for those little mindful moments, and you and I talked about this in terms of our e-newsletter in busy, frantic times. So if I'm in traffic, I will, at the lights, I will try and catch myself and then look to the sky or look through the trees.
Yeah.
And try and capture those sort of little moments of awe and beauty.
Present, hey?
Yeah. Same thing if I'm kind of, doing dishes and I can look out the window and do that same thing.
Yeah.
Just finding those tiny little moments along the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wellbeing stuff is hugely important.
Yes, it is hugely important because it's part of what keeps you energised, eh? Mm-hmm. And I know that for me, I can do those tiny things and feel, and feel, a little bit more energised as a result and a bit more joyful as a result, because the alternative is that I can feel really resentful about the things on my to-do list that I didn't get done and being stuck in traffic or whatever. And so they sort of just help me in that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for our top tips today, number 1, thinking about the word balance and what this means to you. Work-life balance, as we know, Anna hates that term, and thinking about, work and our personal life being one thing. They're all part of our lives. So how can we make this work and how can we make them collide nicely with each other? Number 2, thinking about those things that really support us in our organisation. So thinking about our communication systems, our routine charts, having those quick dinners in place. What are the things that make your life easier, and how can you get these in place so that they continue to support you in that way? Number 3, thinking about the things that maybe aren't working and reflecting on what maybe needs to change. So is it that you need to be kinder to yourself around these things? Do you need to have that conversation with your manager around how could we make this work better for you and make things fit easier?
And exciting news, Real Parents is opening an online shop, and as a part of that we're putting together a kite, a box of the things that support us as working parents to do that well alongside doing our parenting well and our personal lives well as well. So if you want to check that out before we launch, which will be in the next week, contact me, Anna at realparents.org, and I will give you the heads up on when that's available to go, as well as all the other cool resources and keto packs we're putting together.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us today.
We hope you've learned that while parenting is challenging sometimes, that's totally normal. It's been fun having you with us. Keep being amazing.